Let's welcome Kathy Holly and Spotlight.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show, tonight's Spotlight Show. And you know what? I'm taping this from my lovely condominium in San Francisco, high above the city in Diamond Heights. Because after all, we've done this because we can't be in the studio right now yet. But I have my second vaccine. I'm ready to go. This is going to be so much fun when we can really meet each other in person. Well, in the meantime, welcome to the show, tonight's guests. Gali Kroup, a wonderful comedian, and Allison Lovejoy, an accomplished pianist, composer, cabaret artist, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to let them tell you about themselves. Hi, gals. It's great to have you on the show, both of you. And I'd like to start with Allison. Allison, welcome to Spotlight. Now tell me, where are you originally from?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm from the East Coast. I have family from Maine and Massachusetts and Pennsylvania and New York.
When did you move out here?
When I was 14 years old, I moved to California.
14. Now, how long have you been a professional in showbiz?
Oh, I think I had my first performance, my first debut recital when I was 10 years old or 9. I think I had my first professional gig when I was about 14 or 15.
And the check did not bounce, right?
No.
Goodness, because mine did. The first gig I had as a singer guitarist. That's all right, though we won't have to go back in history. But you know, it's amazing. I've heard that you're playing, classical music, and then you also can switch, turn that switch and do cabaret and ragtime. How did all this come about? Did you study classical piano first?
I did. I studied classical piano from the age of 5, and I had learned a lot of Bach and Beethoven and Chopin and Mozart by the time I was 10 or 11. But I was given some books because I absorbed all the music that I had. I was given some new books of composers I love, such as Debussy and then some Scott Joplin, and then some other jazz and popular composers like Billy Joel and the Doors and more jazz and standards. So I was interested in all of that, even though I pursued a master's degree in classical performance.
You
And
did
I
it. Where did you receive your master's?
I did that here at the San Francisco Conservatory.
Wonderful, yeah, wonderful school. Those were my first vocal lessons were at the Conservatory of Music, and I was in high school. So, we kind of, I do think you knew exactly what you wanted to do from the time you were 5, 10.
I did. They said you couldn't get me away from the piano. And the truth was, I was just always happiest here. And I also love songwriting and composing. And I have worked with
Yeah.
singers, with vocalists like yourself, of many styles, both opera and jazz and theater. And that has something to do with the fact that I've become a cabaret composer and singer because I work with vocalists so often.
Yeah, well, that is so wonderful that you're in San Francisco. I may have to take advantage of you sometime, because you're new to me, even though everybody thinks, I guess everybody knows everybody if you're in showbiz or if you're in music. Not necessarily. Now,
Not
it was Candy Forrest who introduced us, virtually,
That's
and I
correct.
had heard about it. So it's just wonderful. Now, I want to know who who really got you, I guess, into jazz. You said you had books. Did you study with any particular pianist?
When I was a graduate, finishing the graduate program, I started working at the Community Music Center, and I still teach there. And I studied with a wonderful teacher and pianist named Mark Little.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's
Jazz
famous
pianist, very
with
well.
Bill Evans and Lenny Tristano. And I've always listened to jazz. I've always spent a lot of time with jazz musicians and other performers of different styles, rock and roll, and a diverse group of people. And so I always found that to be another part of the expression I wanted to develop. And of course,
Yeah.
classical music takes a lot of time and focus. So, which is one of the reasons you might not have met me yet, because I'm often practicing.
Yes. Which reminds me, you're going to feature a classical piece. You're going to give us a sample of your work. Let's do that. I would love to hear you. What are you going to play for us tonight?
I'm going to play for you a wonderful prelude by Rachmaninoff, the prelude in G sharp minor. And this is one of the pieces I'll be featuring on my concert at Mission Dolores Basilica, the live stream series on Sunday, March 14th at 4 p.m.
That's fantastic. And everybody can go to that website because that's going to be, everybody will see it. So this is great. Well, go ahead. We'd love to hear you.
Thank you.
Rachmaninoff. Well, that was just beautiful. I'm clapping for you, and the audience is too. We have to move along quickly, or I won't have time to feature your ragtime piece. So maybe we'll do a little shorter version. But I want to move into your cabaret period of your life. And I know you're going to play something called Ragdog Blues. You're
That's
the composer, right? You're the composer.
I am the composer also of a few cabaret shows, including The Seven Deadly Pleasures, and as a collaborator on The Best Bad Things, a new show about great women of San Francisco.
Which I can't wait, really can't wait to see that. Well, Allison, let's play the Ragdog Blues.
All
I'd
right.
love to hear that style. Totally different. And you're going to be singing,
I'm going to be singing, and
of
this film
course.
was featured in Nara Denning's film called Dogmatique, and it's about having good times even though times are a little bit tough. All right.
Fabulous.
I'm feeling so low, I ain't got no money. My feet are so tired, there's holes in my shoes. Everybody thinks I'm nobody. These are the ragdoll blues. I'm chasing my tail, running in circles, looking for a place to call home. Nobody wants you when you got nothing. Someone throw me a bone. I'm feeling so low, I ain't got no money. My feet are so tired, there's holes in my shoes. Everybody thinks I'm nobody. These are the ragdoll blues. When I'm carousing with my friends, feels like the good times never end. The air and sunshine, they feel so good. Well, I'd stay out there if I could. But when the winter comes so cold, I wish I had somebody to hold. The man has no love for me. He feeds me misery. I'm feeling so low, I ain't got no money. My feet are so tired, there's holes in my shoes. Everybody thinks I'm nobody. These are the ragdoll, the gosh darn ragdoll. These are the ragdoll blues. Somebody throw me a bone, would you?
Oh, love that stinger. That is so, it's so much fun. I think that's a great song and a totally different, totally different playing style. But you are a wonderful composer. It's just great. And on the classical piece, I could see your fingers just sliding. I mean, it looks so easy, Alice, and you make it look so easy.
Oh, thank
I
you.
think,
Here.
I just have to ask you very quickly before I move on to our comedian. I just wanted to ask if you ever played a piano bar.
Oh,
Have you
not
ever? Well,
really. I mean, if I really actually really enjoy playing cabaret clubs where people sit down and listen, places like the old
yeah.
Plush Room. I have played at
Oh,
Martini's and their cabaret Martini's, but I really like playing in theaters because I have a listening audience.
yes. Well, you're so right. I was just thinking I'm eventually going to produce my movie called The Disappearing Piano Bar because I grew up singing really a lot in piano bars, as an amateur, but then being able to sit and sing all those standards was so much fun. My mother used to love them. And that sounds funny, but in those days you could go into hotels, you go into restaurants, it was very healthy to go to a piano bar.
It is, and one thing that it has been really thriving in San Francisco is the idea of taking classical music into cafes and bars. I'm a member of the Classical Revolution, and often
Oh,
we'll play in
yes.
different venues around the city and perform classical music as well as jazz and cabaret. And I really like that boundary crossing idea, of
Oh,
playing in
yes.
different places.
Well, we'll continue it. And everybody's going to look at your website. I've got to move on because we have time for laughter in this crazy world that we live in. Thank you, Allison. And now I'd like to introduce everybody to Miss Gali Kroup, who's a
Hi.
comedian. And I don't have to say it because I know she's going to show us, but Gali, welcome to the show. It's so
Thank you
great
so
to have
much.
you here. And you're
Thank you for having me.
originally,
But before we start, this is for Allison,
oh,
a big
that-
heart. Uh, yeah, I love piano. I was a pianist myself, so I enjoyed that so much.
I read that. Do you ever get a chance to play now?
Yeah, sometimes.
Just for fun?
Yes, just for fun.
Not for
Uh,
money.
we have a lot in common. Just I started at 5 years old, just like Allison. I went to
Oh,
piano
good.
school and I 10 years later, I played concerts solo.
Oh my good, you are parallel in many
But I
ways.
stopped. I didn't have
But
the
you're
discipline.
well, you have to tell me you're originally from Israel. Isn't that right?
That's correct. Although when people ask me, I tell them that I'm from Kentucky.
You wear it so well. I believe you. I just can't believe. And you started doing comedy professionally, of course. I mean, a couple of years ago, many, many years ago.
I
When
would
did this?
say I would say 15 years ago. Although it was a bug that I carried my whole life. So I just let it out 15 years ago, and I didn't know where it's gonna go, but it went well. So I followed my bug.
It's amazing. Stand up to me would be so challenging. And
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm just looking, it says that your background too, you were in theater for a while too, is that right? Did you do
Yeah,
some theater?
yeah,
All
absolutely.
in Israel? Was most of this in Israel?
No, here in Hollywood.
In
Uh,
Hollywood.
yeah, I
Oh,
went
that's great.
to went to acting school in Hollywood, and I performed live theater and did some short films, a little bit acting, but
Yes,
mainly comedy.
mainly comedy. And so where do you get your humor from? Because you write your own comedy, of course.
We all do. I think it's a misconception that people think that comedians have writers or have help. Even big names, they write their own material. Because you have to. It comes from inside, and
From
there's just
inside.
yeah, it comes from here and our experiences in life, my background. I have a different specific point of view, so it's really hard to write for someone else. So
Well,
yeah,
I was, when you were on RHH Comedy, I was laughing it up because what I think is so wonderful is you're also a clean comedian.
yes,
I I can't, I just can't tolerate four-letter words
me
very well. It's
too.
the way I was raised, and I never found it, as funny. So I really laugh with all of your material.
Me
It's
too.
so wonderful.
Me too. We call it cheap laughs when they use
Deep-
the F word and dirty language. It's a cheap laugh. But if you use your brain and you actual write material with your brain and it's clean, it's real laugh.
It's and so because with all your talent, you're going to be appearing in Las Vegas. That's what you said, right? The week of March 15th, it's going to
Yes,
be at the Stratosphere Hotel. You're with the LA Comedy Club.
yes. And a quick funny story. I closed Vegas last year. I was the last I was the last comedian on stage. When I'm on stage at the same club at the Stratosphere, the casino announced they're just shutting down because of COVID. It was the beginning of COVID. It was first week of March. So I got off stage and they escorted us outside. So I literally closed Vegas and now I'm reopening. So
That's I love it because many musicians and many singers can say, "Yeah, I've closed many clubs. I did close the Mapes Hotel. I did an act there, and then I also closed the Riviera. The old Riviera in Las Vegas was one of their last. Anyway, we have stories, right? And I looked at your bio. I can't believe that you were also a lieutenant in the Israeli Air Force.
that's right.
What does this
Right.
mean? Golly,
All these stickers.
tell us about that. What is it to be? Oh, I love those signs. I think that's great. What is it to be a
Well,
lieutenant? What does this mean?
first of all, it's mandatory. It
Oh, it's
wasn't a choice. Yeah.
oh, okay.
So and I joined the army at 18. I thought that I can be tough and I wanted to be a fighter and frontliner. And they looked at me and checked my background and my grades and they said, nope, that's Air Force. And so they sent me to the Air Force and thank God because I wouldn't survive elsewhere. The Air Force is the elite. So I was spoiled.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Did you fly? Can you fly a plane? Pilot?
No. That's a
No.
whole different training. But I worked with the F-16 jet fighter for 2.5 years.
Well, this is very impressive. Does that ever come into your comedy? I guess there's not
Absolutely.
many. Are there jokes about the F-16?
Yeah, I have a few. I have a quick joke. I said, I did a pilot way before I got into acting. Ah, anyway, that's a bad one. That's a
I just, yeah, I was just reading, I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, that she was actually up, with the Air Force. So give me an example of some of your material. Would you mind for the studio audience? Because I may go to the stratosphere, you never know, but if I don't make it to Vegas,
I hope so. I hope you will. You get the heart.
wouldn't that be fun? That would be, it's around
And
St. Patrick's Day.
yes.
It conflicts with my St. Patrick's Day. That's the only thing. It's right in the middle of the week, but you never know.
That's
And you're
right.
going to be playing through the weekend, though, aren't you?
It's a full week over there. Yeah, in Vegas,
Great.
it's a full week. Yeah, every night at
And
8 p.m.
is it indoors, you think? Can you
I
go indoors now?
It is indoors. Vegas are open indoors with the limited capacity. So
Ah,
it's
okay. Then,
an
yeah.
interesting show. I don't know what to expect, but we'll see. I might have to do a one-on-one session.
Well, tell me, do you speak another language?
A little bit of Russian, Hebrewish, which is a hybrid of Hebrew, gibberish, and English.
Gibberish.
That's
And
it.
now, what kind of comedy do you write? Tell-
I would say that I'm a one-liner. I'm a clean one-liner.
Oh, give us some examples. We have a little time. Do you
Sure,
have
yeah.
time?
Yeah, you mentioned that I'm originally from Israel, which is true, but I'm actually mixed. I'm Israeli French, so I'm half Jewish, half racist. Um, my blood type is Merlot. And as I mentioned before, my language is Hebrewish, which is a hybrid of Hebrew, English, and gibberish. Oh, yeah, by the way, yesterday I had a block party here. It was so much fun. I blocked 10 people on Facebook
Oh,
and
no.
5 on Instagram. It's just those people, I don't know if you know them, those people that say LOL at the end of each sentence. It makes no sense. I'm sure you know LOL stands for laugh out loud, which is
You're right.
just like ha ha ha, but way more passive aggressive. Seriously, they say stuff like, "Oh, you look great, Gali." LOL. They text me, I'm sorry, I'm at work, I can't talk. LOL. Oh, you're at work? You can't talk, but you can laugh out loud? my friend texted me the other day. He texted me, I'm so sad. LOL. I text him back, well, it's called bipolar.
Oh,
FYI.
goodness, that's great.
I
That
was
is,
I was walking my I went to Starbucks one day and I noticed a flyer on the wall. It said, have you seen this dog? Please call. So I called and said, no, I've never seen that dog. I, I love dogs though. I have a cute little dog. I named him Peeve. Oh, I love my pet Peeve. He's adorable. Yeah, he's 13 years old, just had bar mitzvah. And 13, actually, that's, I think, 97 years old in human years. He still lives at home. I was walking him the other day and someone stopped me and said, oh, I want to pet your dog. Has he had his shots? I said, shots? No, I'm sorry. He quit drinking. Those tequila shots made him horny. I can't afford no more puppies. It's beautiful. He's got his long ears and long tail, which looks exactly the same. So when we go to bed at night, I can't tell which side I get, front or back. Seriously, for 2 years, I was sure that he has bad breath.
oh gosh.
I went to Petco one day. A sweet lady came up to me and said, oh, your dog is so beautiful. What breed is she? I said, Maltese, and he's a boy. Then she said, "Oh, so adorable. How old is she?" I said, 13, and he's a boy. Then she said, "Oh my God, bless her heart." I said, "Thank you, sir."
Oh gosh, I love this. That
I,
is
want,
so great.
I wanted to get my cat cremated, but I don't know why. Everyone tells me I should wait until he dies. So anyway, when I moved here, I went to Bank of America to open an account. They asked me, "Would you like checking or savings account?" I said, "I'm a comedian. Do you have a GoFundMe account?" Seriously, I've been working a lot recently, all kinds of new things. A friend of mine told me that I need a vacation. He said, "Gali, you need to go somewhere that nobody knows your name." So I went home.
Oh, I don't.
When I was in high school, my English teacher passed away. I'm sure you can tell.
No.
and I was and I was terrible at math, terrible. 50% of the time I was bored, the other 80% I slept.
Oh gosh. Bravo.
Thank you.
I love your routine. I just think it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Laughter is the best medicine. I think all the right things happen when you're laughing. And I think we need lots of laughter during this period of time,
Actually.
especially now. It's coming to an end in San Francisco. I think we're going to be able to, as we can go inside now and eat.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I don't have to have a dog dish outside anymore. No, I'm kidding you. That was meant to be a joke. See, I could never be a stand-up comic. I know. It just wouldn't work. But we can go into the restaurants now as of yesterday. No, as of today, right? I think. Allison, am I right?
I'm not sure.
Because you know what? This means that we can all work. I sing, and I can produce shows. Gali does stand up, and Allison, you play and you write. And so I'm looking forward to when we can bring some of this back in a live venue.
Yeah.
It's really going to be important. So, Gali, before we wrap it up with you, I want to know where are some of the places you've worked doing
Ooh,
stand up?
all over LA County, Las Vegas, Chicago, Ohio, Florida, New York, Caribbean.
Oh,
Uh,
the Caribbean.
yeah,
Great. Oh,
that's my favorite gig. It's a 2-week gig on the beach. They give me a villa and one show a night.
Oh gosh, this is great. Did I tell you I'm your sister? I'm your long lost sister. It would be fun to get together at the Caribbean.
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic. Well, I could spend much more time with both of you wonderful guests, but unfortunately the show is almost over. And I love to chat. It's really a lot of fun. But I know we're going to be uploading the show to YouTube, and everybody can share it with their list, your friends, your enemies, whoever you want to share it with. We'd love it. I thank PCT for letting me do this show, even in, my wonderful little condo here. And I thank you both for being guests. And to remind everybody, Allison will be doing the concert series, right? At Mission Dolores. Whoops, there goes my timer. Mission Dolores. Whoops, in San Francisco. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I have to cancel it, but it won't let me. Okay, I'm getting there. Here we go. Good. And
no more mozzarella, hey mambo Italiano, try an enchilada with the fish bacalao, then hey